Today we're going to show you how to make a betting market on Solana. I live in New York City, and with the NBA playoffs recently, a lot of the bars are actually giving away free beer if the Knicks won. And the way they did that was making a bet for the Knicks on PolyMarket or Kalshi or any other of these betting markets. So if that bet came through, they would have a bunch of extra money they could use to pay for all that beer. There's a lot more prediction markets coming out. Lots of people betting on things like Love Island and more like cultural things. Let's learn how to build a betting market on Solana. Betting markets have really three things to them. First is that people bet on events. Each event has multiple outcomes, and people are picking an outcome to bet on. The second thing is that the program will pool those bets. So all those funds that sit in a program, whenever there's a result, the winners then get paid from the losers based on their proportion of the pot. This is a pretty simple program to make. The code for this is available in both Anchor and Quasar formats from the QuickNode Solana program examples repo that has working up-to-date examples for every type of Solana program in the current version of Anchor, as well as Quasar, as well as a bit more of an emphasis on financial software than your normal Solana demo projects. Please start that repo if you find it useful. Also, QuickNode has an AI skill for generating financial software. It's perfect for building mathematically correct financial products on Solana. Please give that a star if you find it useful. Now, with that out of the way, what will you need to build this project? Basically, you need to have built the escrow app or the swap app. If you haven't done that, stop watching this video, go back to my video on escrow. It's called You Don't Need a Bootcamp, Build a Solana Program in 30 minutes, and literally you will do exactly that. And you'll understand how transactions contain many instructions, programs are deployed on chain, they have functions called instruction handlers that are invoked by those instructions. You'll know how programs store data in PDAs that are addressable by seeds, and all the real fundamentals of building a program on Solana. What you're going to learn today is how betting markets work as Solana programs. And really, the wider thing is that you're going to learn how business concepts map to Solana accounts. Now, I'm here today to make sure that you understand how betting markets work. I'm not going to sit here and type for 40 minutes, A, because I'm a bad typist, and B, that would make a really boring video. If you want to, you can open up the QuickNode Solana Program Examples repo, scroll down to the betting market, and follow along here in either Anchor or Quasar. Or if you just want to get an understanding of how betting markets map to Solana, you can just watch this. Now, let's get started. So this is our Solana curve, and this is Maria. Maria wants to make money. So Maria is going to start a betting market. It's called a parimutuel betting market because it's betting between friends with a small fee, in this case being peeled off for Maria because she's going to run and deploy that betting market. So she's going to deploy this betting market onto Solana mainnet. It's going to have a public key where it's deployed to, and it's going to have a bunch of functions or instruction handlers inside. The first thing that she's going to run is called initialize config. That sets up the config for the entire market. There's a default fee of 2%. It's addressable by the seed, just config. After that, Maria is going to set up the events for people to bet on. She's going to run the create event instruction handler, and she's going to make an event for the top grossing film of July 2026. We also have a bunch of counters which are all set to 0 because nothing has really happened yet. And we don't have anywhere to actually store the funds for people's bets. So let's add a token account that is owned by that PDA. It's going to have USDC inside it, and we're just going to store it at the seed for the event address and the USDC mint. It's going to be this events store of USDC. So we've done that. We've created that token account. It's empty right now. We have somewhere to store people's bets. The next thing Maria needs to do is add some outcomes for people to bet on. So she's going to add an outcome for Toy Story 5 because that could be the highest grossing film of July 2026. And we're going to store some details inside that, like the total amount that is bet on this and the count of bets. The seeds for this outcome will just be the text outcome and then the event ID and then an outcome number. We'll start with 0. And we'll do the same thing again to create the second outcome, which will be for the Backrooms. If the Backrooms is the highest grossing film of July 2026. We now have 2 possible outcomes for people to bet on. We could obviously add a lot more, but let's just start the betting. So this is Alice, and Alice also wants money. She has 0.1 Sol and 1,000 USDC, and she wants to make money by betting on the top grossing film of July 2026. So she's going to run place bet to bet $300 on Toy Story 5 being the #1 movie of July 2026. So when Alice runs PlaceBet, our program is going to create two things. The first is details of Alice's bet, that Alice is the bettor, that she's betting on the top grossing film of July 2026, the outcome specifically that she has bet, and the amount, which in this case is $300, and the fact that the bet isn't claimed yet, because obviously the event is still ongoing and hasn't been settled or determined yet. We'll also have a user account just with the seeds of the text user and Alice's address. That's so our program can easily find all of Alice's bets. Inside that, we'll have a big array of Alice's bets, and the only item in that array will be the address of Alice's Toy Story bet. The other thing our program needs to do is, of course, take Alice's money, and it's allowed to do that because Alice signed the transaction that included the instruction to place bet. So our program withdraws $300 from Alice's USDC account and puts it in the USDC vault that's associated with this event. Our program now has Alice's 300 USDC and details of her bet. This is Bob. Bob also wants money. He has 0.1 Sol and 1,000 USDC, and he actually agrees with Alice. He thinks Toy Story 5 is going to be the #1 film of this month. He has a little bit less to spend, so he's going to bet 100 USDC on Toy Story 5. Bob runs place bet. Our program is allowed to withdraw from his USDC account because Bob signed the transaction, including the instruction to place bet. Bob's funds are also moved to the vault, and just like before, we made a bet account for Bob's bet and a user account for Bob with a big list of all his bets, which just includes that bet account. So this is Carol, and I'll tell you a fun fact about Carol. Carol also wants money. And she disagrees with Alice and Bob here. Carol thinks that Backrooms is going to be the biggest film of July 2026. So Carol makes a Solana transaction, including an instruction to the place bet instruction handler, putting $200 on Backrooms. And just like before, our program makes a bet account for Carol and a user account for Carol with a big list of all her bets, which is just this bet. July 2026 is over, the event is finished, and Maria runs a settle event. You settle events when an outcome is determined. So winner called for the election, or when a team wins, loses, or draws the basketball game, or whatever else. In this case, it is when we have figures for the highest grossing film of July 2026. Now, I want to point out for this betting market that we're relying on Maria to settle the event honestly. We're expecting her to report the correct film that was the highest grossing film of July 2026. In a production betting market, you would probably use an oracle like Pith or Switchboard as a source of information for these events. That way, your program would only return a result when there's a high degree of confidence and multiple sources have confirmed it's true. That result is just published as a Solana account that your program can read. In this case, we're just going to have Maria set the result manually, and people are going to have to trust Maria. We're going to make a future video on using oracles. So if you follow or subscribe, whatever you're watching this, I'll show you how to use information that's trusted by multiple third parties in your Solana programs. So the event is finished. Maria has run settle event, and she can now collect her fees, which come from the losers. In this case, there's only one loser, which is Carol. She bet $200 on Backrooms, and the winner turns out to be Toy Story 5. So Maria is going to take 2% of that $200, which is $4, and that will travel from our program's account into her personal USDC account. One of the cool things about Solana programs, some people call these smart contracts, is that when Maria takes those fees, she can only get 4%, and she gets 4% exactly. She can't take more, she can't take less, because those are the rules determined by the code of the program. Now, if the program was upgradable and Maria was allowed to upgrade it, she could change those rules, but we'll have a discussion of separation of powers in another video in the future. Again, you should subscribe. So, Alice goes and claims her winnings. She bet $300 on the winning outcome, which was Toy Story 5, and she will be paid. Her payout is $300 plus another $300 multiplied by the losing pool after Maria has taken out our fees, divided by the winning pool. Normally, for humans, we do division before multiplication. For Solana programs, you do multiplication before division because by keeping those numbers big, you're less likely to lose a little bit of accuracy due to rounding errors. So Alice gets her $300 back plus 300 times 196 divided by 400, which is a profit of $147. Now it comes time for Bob. Bob also runs claim winnings. He gets his original $100 back plus $100 times the distributable losing pool. That's, again, the pool after Maria has taken her fee, divided by the winning pool, $400. which is a profit of $49. And Carol attempts to run claim winnings herself, but she can't. The transaction will fail with a message saying that Carol does not have a winning bet. And that's everything. Our event is settled. Our vault is empty. Let's look at where everyone ended up. Alice won $147. Bob won $49. Carol bet $200 and lost it. And Maria, the market operator, received $4 in fees for setting this whole thing up. And that's how a betting market works. It's not as complicated as you probably thought. Each of the instruction handlers we've described today is a one-to-one match of what you'll find in the QuickNode Solana program examples repo. Check out that repo, install the related Solana Finance Claude skill, and happy building. If you're looking for an RPC provider, check out QuickNode. We are the #1 fastest Solana RPC and gRPC provider in the world. We provide everything else you would need to build on crypto, including like KYC, price APIs, swaps with companies like Jupiter and Titan. We're used by some of the biggest financial organizations in the world, as well as a lot of super well-known Solana companies like Pump.Fun and FOMO. To learn more about Solana development, follow QuickNode Solana on X, and I will see you in the next video. Have fun building. Bye, guys.